Yeah, Diablo is pretty amazing, but he lies somewhere between a diehard fan and a creepy stalker getting blurred together. I mean, Diablo is not your average underworld flunky, cause this guy is a primordial archdemon whose loyalty to Rimuru Tempest could make your most clingy friend seem like a noob. So, the question is he just a loyal sidekick, or is there something more sinister at play? Well, being overprotective is an understatement, and forever together takes on a whole new meaning with this guy. Let's dive right in and see for ourselves what this man is all about. Now you might be wondering, what's the deal with Diablo and Rimuru? Diablo has been by Rimuru's side for ages, not just as a follower, but as a die-hard fan. He's more than just a servant. He's an archdemon whose dedication to Rimuru is rock solid. Think of it as the ultimate show of friendship and respect, where Diablo sees Rimuru not just as a master, but as his entire world. Now, you might think, is Diablo really loyal, or is he just playing the good guy? Well, let me tell you, Diablo's loyalty is the real deal. Despite his daunting appearance and the evil aura he carries, Diablo hasn't actually harmed anyone without a good reason. In fact, his actions, which might seem a bit over the top, are all for Rimuru. He's like that friend who might seem tough and scary on the outside, but would do anything to protect you. Why is Diablo so devoted to Rimuru, you ask? It's simple. Rimuru is like no one else. To Diablo, Rimuru is the epitome of strength and charisma. Diablo is drawn to Rimuru's power and leadership qualities, something we often see in relationships where one person greatly admires the other's strengths and abilities. Now, let's look at this from a different perspective. According to modern psychology, especially theories related to attachment and loyalty, individuals often form strong bonds with those they admire or see as a source of strength. This is clearly seen in Diablo's case. His loyalty is not just about serving, it's about a deep-seated admiration and respect for Rimuru's qualities. And here's an interesting fact. Diablo's dedication is also driven by fear of losing Rimuru's favor. It's like when you value someone so much that the thought of disappointing them scares you. Diablo is in constant servitude, not merely out of obligation, but to avoid losing the special bond he has with Rimuru. Moreover, Diablo's obsession with Rimuru's anti-magic mask and the secrets it holds reveals his deep desire to understand everything about Rimuru, and to be close to the source of his admiration. This isn't just loyalty, it's an intense fascination and commitment to his master's cause. To sum it up, Diablo's relationship with Rimuru isn't just about loyalty, it's about unwavering devotion and admiration. His actions, driven by his respect and fear of losing Rimuru's approval, show a level of commitment that goes beyond ordinary servitude. Politeness and respectfulness. But another aspect of Diablo's personality that impresses me is his politeness. This man is someone who's usually super chill and composed, like that introvert we all might have seen who never seems to get flustered. That's Diablo. But here's the catch. If you mess with his master Rimuru, he flips a switch and becomes fiercely protective, showing his dark side to defend Rimuru's honor. Now, in psychology, this behavior links to the concept of loyalty and attachment. Diablo's intense reaction to threats against Rimuru mirrors what we call in-group loyalty in social psychology. It's like how you'd fiercely defend your family or close friends, because they're your in-group. On top of this, Diablo isn't just about showing off his loyalty. He's also super respectful and thoughtful when it comes to following Rimuru's orders. He pays attention to details, like that time he adjusted the difficulty of Freimia's test as a guard for guests to Tempest, showing he can be empathetic and considerate, aligning his actions closely with Rimuru's desires. This level of obedience and attention to detail is a sign of what psychologists might call an authoritarian personality, but with a slight difference. Instead of seeking to dominate, Diablo aims to serve and protect, which is quite a noble goal. His most impressive feat, perhaps, is his initiative in recruiting hundreds of other demons for Rimuru, creating a powerful army known as the Black Numbers. This action wasn't just about showing loyalty, it was about making a significant, proactive contribution to Rimuru's cause. This is a classic example of proactive behavior, often seen in individuals who are not only loyal, but are also deeply committed to the welfare of the person or cause they care about. Diablo also has this thing about debts. He hates owing anyone. He once helped Tis as a way to settle a debt, ensuring he did it discreetly and efficiently. This behavior shows a high level of integrity and self-respect, qualities that are often highlighted in modern psychological theories as indicators of a stable and strong personality. But most importantly, before becoming Rimuru's loyal follower, Diablo, or Noir as he was known, was quite the enigma. He was powerful and unpredictable, not really fitting in with his peers, which suggests he has always been an individualist, someone who follows his own path. This trait is quite interesting from a psychological perspective, as it indicates a strong sense of self, and perhaps a high level of self-actualization, where an individual realizes and embraces their own potential and uniqueness. But his interactions with Rimuru clearly changed everything. After all the events that happened and the observations he made, Diablo concluded that Rimuru was the key to a greater truth, showing his capacity for deep thought and analysis. This realization led him to seek a connection with Rimuru, which eventually resulted in his transformation into a demon lord after receiving a name from Rimuru. This transformation signifies a turning point and shows the profound impact that meaningful relationships and recognition can have on an individual, a concept widely acknowledged in psychological theories of identity and self-concept development. Intelligence and strategic thinking. Yes, yes, yes. He is super loyal. But this loyalty is not the only thing that makes him such an amazing asset. Normally, you may find someone who's smart, but Diablo is smart and also incredibly shrewd and manipulative. Let me explain. Starting with his past, Diablo meets Shizu and, after a fierce battle, forms a temporary alliance with her. This isn't just about making friends, it's a strategic move. Diablo understands the values of allies and knows when to collaborate, showcasing his analytical ability to assess situations and make calculated decisions. It's like when you're playing chess, you need to plan ahead, and that's exactly what Diablo does. Moving forward, Diablo fulfills a promise to Shizu by saving Tis and her class, showing his ability to honor commitments and strategically place himself in a favorable position with potential allies. His curiosity about Rimuru further illustrates his keen interest in gathering information and understanding different entities, much like a detective piecing together clues. In the Demon Lord Awakening arc, Diablo's intelligence shines through his manipulation of events and resources. He offers the soulless corpses to summon him, which was a very clever use of available assets to achieve his goals. This action not only demonstrates his resourcefulness, but also his understanding of the value of sacrifice for greater gains, a principle often explored in game theory, where strategic decisions are made to maximize outcomes. Upon his evolution into a demon lord, Diablo's involvement in strategic meetings and his interactions show his adeptness in navigating complex social hierarchies and power dynamics. His consideration of taking down powerful adversaries and his ability to assess threats, like with Rimuru, display his tactical thinking and foresight. In his subsequent missions, Diablo's actions in Falmouth and against Violet reveal his ability to destabilize and manipulate political landscapes. His success in overthrowing Falmouth's king and manipulating events to favor Tempest signifies his high-level strategic planning and execution skills. This is akin to psychological warfare, where understanding and influencing human behavior and decision-making processes are crucial. Finally, Diablo's confrontation with the Seven Luminaries and his maneuver to protect Tempest's reputation highlight his skill in reputation management and strategic defense. He not only defends against immediate threats, but also secures long-term safety and stability for Tempest, demonstrating a deep understanding of both immediate and future strategic needs. Through these actions, Diablo, he's kinda like a mastermind in a psychological thriller, always 2 steps ahead, with a deep understanding of human nature and the art of war. But enough of all this boring stuff. I know everyone must be thinking by now, how powerful even is this guy? That is why I'm going to do a super quick rundown of each and every ability or skill this man has. First up, we've got his Great Wiseman skill. This isn't just any skill. It's like having a supercomputer in your head. Diablo uses it for thought acceleration, which lets him think and strategize at an incredible speed. But wait, there's more to Great Wiseman. It also gives him thought domination, a power that lets him mess with people's minds, controlling them to do his bidding. It's like he walks into a room and with a snap of his fingers, he can have everyone dancing to his tune. This isn't just strength, it's the power to control the battlefield without throwing a single punch. Then there's Incantation Void. Magic usually needs chants or spells, right? Well, Diablo laughs at that. He can sling spells without uttering a word. This is super handy in a fight. He's not there chanting like a sitting duck. He's throwing magical haymakers left, right, and center, catching his enemies off guard. Let's talk about his charm. Fascination and seduction aren't just for show. Diablo uses these to bewitch and manipulate people, making them allies or neutralizing them without a fight. It's like having charisma cranked up to 11, making him as persuasive as he is powerful. Then there's End of World, a terrifying ability that lets him obliterate anything he deems a threat, erasing it from existence. It's like having a delete button for reality. When Diablo decides something needs to go, it's gone. No questions asked. Adding to this, his Demon Lord's Haki instills such fear that it can drive people to madness or even death. I mean, just the sheer presence of Diablo is enough to break the strongest wills. That's the kind of aura Diablo carries. And if you thought he was all about close combat, think again. His nuclear cannon lets him unleash destruction from afar, like having a personal nuclear strike at his fingertips. This means he's as lethal from a distance as he is up close. Torah's secret art lets Diablo manipulate energy in isolated spaces, draining his opponents while staying powered up. It's a strategic move that shows he's also thinking several moves ahead, weakening his foes while keeping himself strong. Lastly, his multi-dimensional barrier and all of creation skills make him nearly invincible, with defenses that stop any attack and knowledge of everything happening around him. Now that you've got a pretty good idea about his power, I can confidently say Diablo is not just a warrior, he's a force of nature, a master of both combat and magic, whose powers are as vast as they are terrifying. With his strategic mind, immense magical abilities, and physical combat skills, he's nearly unbeatable. But this brings me on to my next point, obsession. Never underestimate the single-minded goal of knowing everything / being by the side of a person you are obsessed over. We have so many examples in real life, but ironically, Diablo is truly loyal and 10 times more obsessed than a regular human can be. So even if he was rejected, he would not even dare to think about revenge against Rimuru. Demons in the Tensura universe are dedicated to the masters they pledge loyalty to with everything they have. Diablo's single-minded goal to know everything about and be constantly by Rimuru's side shows an intense obsession. In psychology, obsession can be understood as an overwhelming desire or idea that occupies a person's mind continuously. Diablo's behavior is an amplified version of what we see in some people who can become overly fixated on someone they admire or love. Unlike a person who might step back after rejection, Diablo's dedication is unwavering. Now, let's talk about how Diablo compares to Benimaru, who is also clearly super loyal. But there is one major difference that we need to understand. Benimaru follows a samurai code, prioritizing duty above all else, even if it means sacrificing Rimuru to save others. However, Diablo operates on a different wavelength. If faced with a choice, he would choose to save Rimuru over anyone else, even if it means going against orders or risking his own existence. This highlights Diablo's possessive nature, showing he values Rimuru's safety above the welfare of the entire Tempest population. As discussed earlier, Diablo also shows a protective side. He's particularly sensitive to any threats to Rimuru, displaying hostility towards anyone he perceives as a danger. This protective streak is seen when he warns others not to harm those close to Rimuru, like Zegion and Apito, who carry Rimuru's tissue cells. His protective nature is a bit paradoxical though. While he can be cold and malicious to perceived threats, he also has a sense of obligation and care for those associated with Rimuru, showing a complex mixture of loyalty and possessiveness at the same time. But despite his often calm demeanor, Diablo can become easily agitated if Rimuru is insulted or threatened. This swift shift from composed to coldly hostile illustrates his obsessiveness and protective instincts. He's like a guard dog that's friendly to those the owner approves of, but ferocious to anyone seen as a threat. And if you generally observe him, Diablo's actions also speak volumes about his loyalty and obsession. His meticulous obedience to Rimuru's commands, even in gray areas, shows his dedication. Recruiting a formidable army for Rimuru further cements his role as an overly protective and somewhat possessive figure. His distaste for owing debts, even to those diseased, aligns with a strong sense of personal honor and an intense loyalty to Rimuru, hinting at an obsessive need to settle all scores, ensuring nothing stands between him and his loyalty to Rimuru. In summary, Diablo's behavior can be seen as a magnified version of human tendencies that clearly show that his actions and decisions often cross the line from simple loyalty into an all-encompassing insanity that prioritizes Rimuru above all else. Lastly, let's talk about the character development this guy has gone through. If we begin with his past, Diablo, originally from his time as Noir, shows significant growth and development throughout his journey in the series. Starting as an archdemon with whimsical and often unpredictable behavior, Diablo evolves into a more controlled and trustworthy character, particularly through his interactions with Rimuru and others. In the beginning, Diablo, or Noir, had a tendency to act on urges, often leading to erratic behavior. For instance, during the Demon Lord attack arc, he impulsively allied with Shizu and fought alongside her, which was out of character for him. This action, however, was the start of a subtle transformation. Noir's promise to Shizu to protect her students, which he fulfills later, showcases his ability to form bonds and commit to them, a significant step in his development. Modern psychology would suggest that Diablo's initial erratic behavior and lack of regular patterns indicate a form of psychological instability or impulsiveness. However, his actions towards Shizu and later Rimuru indicate a shift towards more stable emotional responses and a sense of responsibility. This change can be associated with the psychological theory of social attachment. As Diablo forms attachments, like with Rimuru, he starts displaying loyalty and a more predictable pattern of behavior, indicating emotional growth and stability. Upon meeting Rimuru, Diablo's curiosity transforms into a deep sense of loyalty. This shift is crucial in his development. He moves from being a powerful but directionless entity to someone who finds purpose in serving and protecting Rimuru. This is evident during the Demon Lord Awakening arc, when he sacrifices his subordinates for Rimuru's cause, showing his dedication and trust in Rimuru's leadership. In psychology, this can be viewed through the lens of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, where Diablo's actions signify a transition from fulfilling basic individual needs to finding a sense of belonging and purpose within a community. In this case, Rimuru's dominion. As Diablo continues to serve Rimuru, his ability to control his emotions and tendencies become more apparent. While he retains a cold malice towards those who threaten Rimuru, he learns to restrain these impulses to align with Rimuru's wishes. His interactions with other characters, like his strategic handling of political situations in Falmouth and his measured response to threats against Rimuru, show a maturation in his decision-making processes. This development aligns with cognitive behavioral theories in psychology, which emphasize the importance of thought patterns in influencing behavior. Diablo's growing ability to think strategically and control his impulses reflects a cognitive shift, enhancing his ability to make decisions that are in the best interest of Rimuru and their collective goals. Moreover, Diablo's evolution from an archdemon to a demon lord after being named by Rimuru signifies a transformation that has a lot of weight to it. This naming not only increases his power, but also solidifies his identity and role within Rimuru's world. In conclusion, Diablo's journey from an unpredictable, power-driven being to a loyal, strategic, and controlled demon lord illustrates massive growth and development. His interactions with Rimuru and others, combined with his evolving emotional control, showcase a character who matures significantly over the series, making Diablo a fascinating personality. But yeah, he is still kinda weird. And there you have it, folks. That's Diablo in a nutshell. Hit that like button if you had as much fun as I did exploring his character, and dive into the next video for more mind-blowing